Hi, and now Bloomin' Bardstown is at Teresa Hauser's home, and she has a beautiful garden here. We're looking around, and Bill, do you see anything special that we would need to take attention to?
Well, this house has been on the tour before, and I think one of the things we try to do every few years is repeat a house because it's done something different. It's evolved in some way. When Teresa started this garden, she did it entirely in annuals, and she managed to put together most of the garden in just 1 year. The problem with annuals is, of course, they're annual. They die at the end of the season. So you can see how this garden is changing over. She's converted from annuals now to planting a whole bunch of hydrangeas. And in just a couple of years now, those hydrangeas are going to pop and be huge and take over this whole half of the garden. So the nice thing about that is that it's a lot less maintenance to do, but it changes sort of the color palette that's going to be in your garden.
Tell us a little bit about, I understand when she was putting this garden in, she was looking for a different system to use as far as mulching and that kind of thing, and putting down some newspaper first.
Yeah, that's what
and that is a very unique idea. I know a lot of folks don't know what to do with their newspapers, and so this is something that they can make a very useful thing out of it. And instead of that black kind of heavy paper that you need to use, and obviously it's free once you've read the newspaper.
Newspaper or cardboard works. And the advantages to it are that it biodegrades fairly rapidly, and it will suppress the weeds that are there. She just laid it straight over the lawn and then put mulch on top of it and then planted between, or just cut holes in it and planted in the holes, and it kept the weeds out. And she still has to do some weeding, but
nothing like you would normally.
Without any suppression at all, right?
Yes.
Now the landscape fabric, of course, it doesn't degrade, and that's a disadvantage to the environment because once you put it down, it's really hard to get back up later. So a couple extra inches of mulch will do all the work of that fabric. But of course, because the newspaper degrades, if you're not going to be out and active,
no, I'm her sister. Teresa's going to do that.
Oh, okay.
If you're not active that much, you want to have a little bit lower maintenance, then the fabric is a better alternative because it's going to stay there for years and years. But it is important to note that things blow in, soil gets on the top of it, and eventually weeds start to develop on that fabric. So no matter what you do, there's going to be some weeds over time. I always say life is strong, and eventually there's going to be weeds. So if you want a really sustainable thing, whereas the mulch breaks down, it breaks down into the soil and improves it, start out with either newspaper or cardboard because that's the kind of stuff that'll disappear later.
I love that idea. I think she's done a beautiful job on this garden, and we want to thank Teresa for having us here today. And Channel 6, we are at the 6th house on the Bloomin' Bardstown tour, and we are at the home of Stanley and Ellen Clayton. And here is the Clayton sign and the beautiful homestead here. And we just can't wait to have us show around. And where are we going to start here, Bill?
We're going to move over to the front of the house. They have a pristine landscape in front of a beautiful home. And then, we got some really great stuff to show you in the back, too.
Okay.
Amazing property.
Do you know how large this area is? It looks like acres and acres of land here.
Yeah, she said they had, I think, 167, if I'm right.
Wow, that's a lot of acreage, and so we really appreciate them having a Channel 6 and Bloomin' Bardstown here today.
Let's go take a look.
So Bloomin' Bardstown is here in the front of the beautiful home of Stanley and Ellen Clayton. And can you explain a little bit about what's going on here?
Well, this is a formal planting, and it is an absolutely pristine, maintained formal planting that makes a beautiful house absolutely elegant. Everything's in the right place, everything's the right size, and it's just absolutely beautiful to look at. They've also got a loop inside the driveway here that's been landscaped, and it from the front, when you're down the hill a little bit looking up, it just totally frames the home and adds something that I don't know that anything else can add to a home like landscaping that's really well done.
And I think that's one thing the master gardeners are so good at, and that's the whole idea of the Bloomin' Bardstown, is to share that vision with others in Nelson County that might not be aware of that, and just how hard the Extension Office and the master gardeners work together to make this the beautiful community that it is.
Well, I got to admit that it's some of the folks that volunteer to allow us to join there and see their ideas just expands for us too. I mean, this is a great benefit for us to be able to go to these homes and get all these ideas and see what works. We as master gardeners will experiment quite a bit, and we work with Extension sometimes and try some new plants that maybe nobody knows about, but everybody's their own scientist in their front yard or backyard, right? And so as people try different things and put different things together, it gives us a chance during these tours to walk around and say, oh, that works. That really grows here, you know, and it can be some really amazing sights, and this is definitely one of them.
Yes, it is. It is just beautiful. Thank you so much for bringing us to the home of Stanley and Ellen Clayton and letting us share that today.
Right, and we got a couple more things to look at. Let's take some more views.
Okay.
So Gary, we're standing next still at the Claytons, but we're looking at a blue spruce, and unfortunately Kentucky suffered some blights on the blue spruces in the last year. I believe it's a fungal blight, but it is a problem throughout the state where it moves from the ground up. It has to do with our weather conditions, but it's become kind of so extensive and pervasive that the last several years have seen a big hit to our blue spruces. It's somewhat cyclical, so if you plant a new blue spruce, you may get away with a few years of nice growth, but it's been a hard hit in Nelson County in the last, say, 4 years that we've lost most of them. It definitely ends up with a bottom that's dead and only the top that still grows. So kind of a sad sight, but.
Channel 6 is with blooming Bardstown today, and boy, we're blooming out here, aren't we, Bill?
Yeah.
It is just gorgeous here at the home of Ellen and Stanley Clayton, and we're enjoying the backyard right now. So can you kind of show us what we need to focus on back in this area?
Well, what I love about this spot is this was designed to be a 4-season outdoor space. So these folks put a lot of thought into placing things in just the right way and putting all the environments you need to be able to enjoy this space year-round. They have a screened-in shaded porch that allows you to go out in the summer. The mosquitoes are thick, no problem. Put a couple fans in there. You can still enjoy the sound of the water features, but you don't have to enjoy the buzz of the mosquitoes. They stay outside the screens. And of course you stay out of the sun, so you can spend the whole afternoon there. Then they have a fire pit out in the middle. There's your winter time. You can put some chairs up against it, roast your hot dogs, whatever you want to do.
Marshmallows.
Marshmallows, s'mores, you know, you can do all that stuff all through the winter time. And then to my right, they have a outdoor kitchen. It was one of the most fabulous outdoor kitchens I've ever seen in real life. And seating areas next to that, so you can enjoy spring, fall, any comfortable night. You don't have to be near the fire, you don't have to be in the shade. You could just sit out in the seating areas and enjoy this wonderful view that goes off the back and just extends for miles. So if I could have my design for how I would want my outdoor space, this is it. 4 seasons, 4 seating areas that allow you to take advantage of whatever the weather is.
And enough area out here to host a little party or a small group session, but they can enjoy the beautiful scenery out the back and just how gorgeous it is. And like you said, all year long.
All year long, you know, and being able to enjoy your meals as well as
I'd eat
spend
every
the
meal
time.
outside
If you could, right?
Just
Yeah,
love
absolutely.
To.
And then they've got the opportunity to do that here, so I just really love it.
And this is blooming Bardstown. We're at the beautiful home of Stanley and Ellen Clayton, and we just saw your big sign upstairs, and I love that on the gate. That was a very unique feature. Is there anything else that you'd kind of like to share with us, Stanley?
Well, I had told you earlier about the rocks over there, that all the rocks that come, except the little pebbles, came off the farm. And the guy took several days to place them and had his own idea of where they should go. I didn't exactly understand it.
So how long have you been at this home?
I believe about 13 years.
About 13 years. Now, did you add this outdoor section, or was that there in the beginning too?
No, we built the house first.
Okay.
And about a couple years later, came back and did the rest of it.
I see.
Got the indoor kitchen and dining, and then a sitting area like. So.
Yeah, it looks like you can host a very nice party out here.
Yeah, I've had a couple of class reunions from where I went to school, St. Joe Prep over in Bardstown.
Oh, St. Joe Prep, okay.
Yeah, we had a couple of those here. And probably don't use it as much as I should, but...
But it sounds like you're having a lot of fun with it, though, and we really appreciate you opening up your home to Channel 6 and having us come in and enjoy all the beautiful work that you've done.
Well, it's my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
One thing that a homeowner can do if they're worried about, say, kids falling into a pool, but they still want a nice water feature that moves some water, this is a disappearing fountain. And the way it works is you dig a basin, and then you cover the basin with something like a concrete mesh and then you cover that with gravel. And then as your fountain trickles down, the water goes through the rocks back into the basin and cycles over and over and over again. So this is a way to contain water, still have a water feature, but it's very safe and very accommodating. Also, it's never a mosquito issue because the surface of the water is just not available to the insects, or for that matter, other wildlife, but it still provides a place, birds can do a little bath at the top, or you might get an occasional toad that visits, but it's a really nice little feature that you could put in just about any backyard. At the vending area of the Blooming Bardstown tour, and I'm with
Eli Durbin from Hummingbird Farms.
Hummingbird Farms. You got a whole collection, some art and some plants too. What got you to come out to the garden tour?
This is our first year, and we decided to get a positive outlook on all the gardening in the county and try to become part of it ourselves.
Now, did I hear you're at the farmers market this year too?
Yes.
All right, first year there?
Yes, first year there too.
All right, yeah, we love to partner up with the farmers market when we can, and we're glad that you could join us.
Thank you very much. We've enjoyed all the stories and the socialization with everybody in Bardstown.
Great. All right, and we're with another vendor here at Blooming Bardstown. You guys are?
Wanda Crump, Duke.
And Duke, you guys have been coming back and supporting us, and I hope we've been helping to support you for several years now. What got you to come to the tour in the first place?
Well, a friend of ours, Vicki Porter, she talked to us when they first set up at the farmers market.
Oh yeah, years ago.
And
yeah.
she was saying, why don't you all try and come down, when they moved to county extension. I said, sounds good. So we've been doing it every year, and the weather's been perfect, but today was a little
iffy, but it turned out
It turned out great.
Yeah.
2008, I think, when we started.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, so you guys have been around maybe a year longer than me.
But it's the first time I've been inside. We usually sit up outside.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We could have today, but it didn't
know.
Turn out
But
this
we
way.
did real good.
Well, we appreciate
We're
that you
pleased.
guys coming out supporting us each year, and we hope that
And I
the
cut
tour
out
helps
chicken.
you guys.
I just took the last nut. They call it Chicken Rock. I
Yeah.
hew them out. You might have seen them.
Oh yeah, I saw them. Yeah.
I make all them too.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, we do
Yeah, you
really
guys always have the garlics
Yeah.
and
Yeah, the garlic,
and
yeah.
some
Right.
antique stuff, and
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
always a nice little booth.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys a bunch.
Thank you very much.
We enjoy it.
So as we bring our day at Bloomin' Bardstown here to an end, is there anything you would like to share with them as far as the Master Gardeners? They've done a beautiful job here with this garden site, and I know we have the plant sale going on.
That's
They have all the wonderful vendors. They've got the silent auction going on inside. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
No, just invite everybody out each year. We try to do it the second Saturday in June normally.
Okay.
Just look around town. There'll be flyers up in that, or call the extension office 502-348-9204. They'll get you the information about when the tour is. Also, if you want to be a master gardener, if you want to put your garden on the tour, we're always looking for more volunteers to join with us in whatever capacity that they see. A reminder again, we've got a class in September. They can sign up for that class if you're interested. Otherwise, just come out to the tour, buy some plants, get some garden stuff, go see some ideas about how to make your yard a more beautiful spot.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all this with us today. And I know Channel 6 and the Community Focus appreciates that and appreciates the Master Gardeners and just how wonderful they're making our community look.
Oh, and we thank you, Channel 6, for coming out and joining us each year. This is one of the highlights of our event is knowing that you guys are going to come out and give us that exposure too. So I think it's a really great mutual relationship.
Wonderful. We'll see you next year.
Absolutely.